think about Bigfoot? What's your take on him?
Well,
do you think
it's actually
real?
It's I think I feel like there's two ways of answering this depending on who's listening to the show. If I say yes, they're like, he's an idiot. And if I say no, they may believe it and be like, he just doesn't know. So oh man.
It ain't about who's listening though, it's about you.
Yeah, I know. I'm just stating a fact that it's kind of funny no matter what I answer. It's going to be... It's like one of those things. So I want to say yeah, because I did a project when I was in high school. I was like a freshman. I did a project on Bigfoot. And so I was like delving into all of this information and watching these shows and to do my report. But it's funny because I really could have done the bare minimum, but I really got interested in it. So I kept looking at stuff and reading stuff and seeing all of these different takes and stuff like that. And I feel like, I feel like it's real as far as there being something that we haven't quite seen, or because if I'm not mistaken, the Northwest is like super like forest heavy and, full of vegetation. So they've said it's not out of the possibilities of there being something that we haven't seen,
For sure, no. And I mean, we have all this history that tells us like our ancestors, or there's been other species on this planet that have been far bigger than us. Yeah, I mean that's proven that's something that they have
fossil records too. Yeah, prove it.
Yeah, that's something that they have solidly found, and the fact that like people will discredit anything such as Bigfoot is kind of obscene to me in a sense, because I mean, yeah, there's really not a whole lot on it, and yeah, maybe you could say somebody built this whole like, I don't know what you would call it. Not necessarily a cult, but I guess you could say a cult for lack of a better word. But
sure,
around this, and I mean, it's gone on for generations, and people love it. But I mean, dude, there's some good stuff out there that like there's no reason to believe that it's not a possibility at the very least.
That's true. I'm curious though. Because honestly, I feel like if the funding was there and the drive was there, they could probably really find something. But there's just it's just not a big priority.
It also becomes one of those things as is it a myth, or is it something that they already know and that they're hiding from us too, like aliens, and
That's a good point.
Or was it an experiment gone wrong that escaped maybe, and they're now obviously that's a little bit more far-fetched and tin-hatted, but anything's possible.
It's funny because like the Jack Link's beef jerky commercials, I think of like the Bigfoot in those commercials, and I'm like, it was an experiment gone wrong.
My name's Daryl.
What is that's the Geico one. It's like, my name's Daryl. Like, thanks Bigfoot. What did you call me? My name's
So
Daryl.
funny.
That's so awesome. Kudos for Geico. And they sponsor the show.
Absolutely.
Eventually, like, if we get real sponsors that I'm not just pulling out of my ass, we're not going to be able to do that anymore.
Yeah, you'll know when we get sponsors.
Yeah, well, you'll know at the beginning of the show, because that'll be exciting.
Actually, off topic, not off topic, but with Bigfoot, the 20th actually made the 50-year anniversary of the big famous film footage that was taken.
Oh yeah,
from Patterson Gimlin. Where he got Bigfoot kind of trekking along the woods, crossing Bluff Creek in North Carolina.
Didn't he like fall off of his horse and like picked up the camera and started then?
I'm not sure. I'll tell you what though, like when you look at original footage, it really does look like, I mean, he was hyped up on something. Like there's no way you can be that unstable unless you were just like shitting bricks scared, because like it's just a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
However,
I agree.
However though, you can look up Patterson Gimlin film stabilized, and dude, it is really, really cool looking. And I mean, I've probably watched it 1,000 times on the stabilized version because it just shows it like in that one frame where Bigfoot kind of moves across.
Yeah.
And it looks so good, and it's like, man, you got to think this was taken in the 60s. That kind of shit wasn't done then. I mean,
no.
Maybe, but like unlikely.
Yeah. Well, one of the parts of my project that I did for school, I actually didn't even get to that part of the project. I can't remember the project that well. I wasn't a very good student, but I was, but I wasn't. But they were analyzing the proportions of the arms, and they were trying to reenact the walk with people of all sorts of different heights and stuff, and they could not match the proportions like at all. Like they were saying that there's no human that can like match these movements with these. Why can't I say proportions right away? Okay, I keep having to think of that. Matching the proportions, they were just saying there's like no way. And that was like a big factor of their trying to recreate the footage, and they couldn't do it.
No, I haven't heard that. That's pretty interesting, though.
Yeah.
But
so,
I mean,
that was cool.
I definitely think Bigfoot's real. I mean, I hope he is.
Me too, man. It just makes things more fun.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Like, I like living in a world where things are a little weird and kind of spooky.